my name is Ensign and I'm here to talk about the issue of economic inequality. Economic inequality is growing in the US. What this means is that the rich are getting richer while working people are struggling harder and harder to get by. Economic inequality isn't a new thing. It has existed since the start of this country. But at what point does this inequality become a problem? What causes it and what can be done to fix it? In this video, I will address these questions by providing evidence. So we know that inequality exists in our society, but is it a problem? The following graph shows that a typical male worker's annual wage is about $34,000 versus a typical 1% male worker whose wage is about 35 times as much, or about $1.1 million in the year 2010. At the same time, many people are struggling simply to earn enough money for basic necessities like housing. In this video, we see a lot of homeless people struggling to survive and how they became homeless.
Do you mind if I ask what is it like being out here?
It can be kind of violent maybe at times when disagreements happen with people from different walks of life who may not be as diplomatic as you. Some of us have wives and children that we miss. Man.
Let's say you do have to go to the bathroom. Where do you go?
I keep a bucket with maybe some bleach in it and a septic cleaner. I don't know if that works, but I figure it cleans septic tanks, so it has to work. So, I may pour a bottle of Febreze in it, but keep a bucket though, keep it covered with bleach and stuff in there to kill it, to kill the smell. Some people piss in the dirt. I don't agree with that. And the rats, you wouldn't believe how these rats, man, actually move. You come back and your whole thing is rearranged. And you may blame it on your neighbor saying he did it, the rats did it.
There are people who say, look, I get that they're homeless, but you know what? I don't want to walk by needles. I don't want to walk by all of this garbage. I don't want them in my neighborhood. What would you say to those people?
Well, for one, first and foremost, it could happen to you. Because a lot of us come from the same situations that you people live in. I lost my home in the 2008, the whole housing crash thing. But it can happen to you, man. I wouldn't be so quick to be so judgmental, man, and jump to conclusions about people.
When we look at this evidence, we see that there is a huge gap between the rich and the poor and how nasty and rough the living conditions are for the homeless. Now that we see that inequality exists, we have to ask the question, is it a problem? Inequality poses a big problem because the rich stay rich and also gets richer while the poor stays the same. The following graph demonstrates this by showing that the top 400 richest people take up half of the wealth of America, while 150 million Americans combined take up the other half. Notice the huge gap between the number of people on each side. And in this video, we also see how Jeff Bezos, one of the richest people in the world, made $70 billion in a year, which means he can make more money than most people in a short amount of time.
105 years. Put into another perspective, Jeff Bezos has added $70 billion to his wealth over the past 12 months, from September 2019 to September 2020. That means that over the last year, Jeff Bezos accumulated $9 million every hour, $149,000 every minute, and $2,489 every single second. Now, start a timer from September 1st, 2019 to September 1st, 2020. In just the first 9 minutes of this year, Jeff Bezos gained more wealth than the average college-educated American woman will in her entire lifetime, and in only 15 minutes, more than the average college-educated American man will in his lifetime as well. 27 minutes into the year, and Bezos has already gained more wealth than the average American lawyer will in their entire lifetime. 45 minutes into the year, and he's already gained more than the average American doctor will in their entire lifetime.
This is not the first time economic inequality has caused major problems in our economy. During the Great Depression, as seen in the vicious cycle, the economy crumbled because wages stagnated, workers bought less, companies lost profit, and workers got fired. The collapse of the economy was a huge problem because the men started looking for jobs somewhere else, which led to single mothers raising their children alone, and people had to line up for free stuff since they couldn't afford it. In order to address this economic crisis, President Franklin D. Roosevelt created a platform called the New Deal. The goal of the New Deal was to provide relief, recover, and reform from the Great Depression. Some of the programs created were bank holidays, the FDIC, the SSA, the CCC, the WPA, the SEC, the AAA, and the TVA. They were intended to prevent another Great Depression from happening. Understanding what happened in the past is key to understanding what we need to do today about inequality. One possible solution would be to make colleges free because paying for colleges is one of the big reasons that cause people to go into debt. Debt is bad because it's hard to pay it back and it hurts the economy. Going to college can also get people a decent paying job because when people make money, they spend that money. This helps the economy because businesses are making profits. In this video, we see that this would be effective because college graduates make 56% more than high school graduates.
For a lot of us, a big chunk of our lives is spent thinking about and working towards one thing: a college degree. And why not? According to one recent study, in 2015, college grads earned 56% more than high school grads. It was the largest gap the study found since 1973.
Another possible solution would be to make the rich pay more tax since they have more money than they actually need. This would be effective because if the rich pay more tax, then that means a lot more money will go into helpful programs such as education, public safety, and construction. In this video, we see how little tax the rich actually pay, and Warren Buffett, the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, who's worth billions, even says that the rich are very undertaxed.
But as he's been known for pointing out, Warren Buffett still pays a lower tax rate than his secretary.
She pays at twice the rate I pay. I think that's outrageous.
That's because they pay different types of taxes. His secretary pays income taxes on her salary, but Buffett mainly pays capital gains taxes on his sold stock, and that's taxed at nearly half the rate.
The wealthy are definitely undertaxed.
In the US, the disparity between the richest Americans and everyone else has been growing. And in the last 40 years, the after-tax income of the richest has risen more than 400%, while middle-class income has only risen 50%. The way these people make money is very different than the way these people make money. And they're not taxed the same.
One of the things we should have learned from the Great Depression is that whenever the economy crashes, it not only affects businesses, but it also affects everyone else and makes it harder for everyone to survive. Some things we can do differently today is to make colleges free and to make the rich pay more tax.